It's time to lock in. Yes, you set out time to finally lock in, to get yourself together and do the things you're supposed to do. But you find yourself constantly distracted. You want to lock in, you want to focus, you want to get into the flow. But one thing after another, you can't even last 30 minutes. You've hopped into another thing, you're distracted, and probably you find yourself doom scrolling. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you practical ways to regain your focus, to give yourself to focus work so you can finally lock in. No bluff, okay? If you're new here, hi, my name is Buraola Olaleko, and on this channel, I share practical tips and actionable steps that will help young adults like you become a better version of themselves. And if that is something you're interested in, hurry and smash that subscribe button. Without much story, let's get into the video. Make a list of your distractions and write out elimination strategies. So when you set out to focus, what are the things that easily distract you? Is it social media? I use app block or apps that restricts your use of social media during those time periods. In the time management series and workshop, I shared in details these specific apps that I use to block out my time. So when I give myself to focus work and I don't want to get distracted by social media, you know that muscle memory of you just finding yourself on Instagram or TikTok, whatever apps distract you. Those apps restrict my use of social media at the time period that I want to focus and lock in. Is it chatting or yapping with your friends when you're supposed to be working? Turn off notifications if that distraction is on your mobile phone. So when I want to give myself to focus work, I probably put my phone on DND, or I turn off all my apps notifications, so no notification is juggling my memory or distracting me, because distraction starts from, I just quickly want to respond to that message, and then it leads to another thing and leads to another thing, and 3 hours down the line you're still in the dungeon of distraction. Or is it your physical space? Do you see that people are coming to ask you things? Maybe you work physically and people are probably coming in. Find a way to shut out those distractions. Maybe put a sign on your desk or have headphones on to ensure that you are not easily distracted when it's time for you to focus. And if it's your mind, you set out to do one thing and your mind starts wandering into different things. Towards the end of this video, I'll share with you how you can take care of that, okay? Set your space or environment for focused work. You know what gets you in the mood, you know what gets you in that flow. If it's decluttering your space, if it's taking a shower, if you work from home, taking a shower, dressing up like you're going to work, whatever it is, having fragrance or scented candles or whatever it is that sets your space, set your environment, shutting out noise, whatever it is that sets your space, set your environment for deep, focused work. Set that in alignment before you start. You are doing all these things to prepare yourself for your lock-in period and your focus work. Clarify your intention. Many times you start work or you want to lock in or focus and you don't even know exactly what you're supposed to be doing at that time period. So with every time that I set out to focus or lock in, I have a clear intention of what I want to achieve. What needs to happen for me to call this time spent successful and well spent. And it's advisable you leave it to a maximum of 1 to 3 intentions. For example, you want to study a course. Now, what topics do you want to study in that course? What are the subtopics, or what resources do you need to study that course? Set that in place such that you are stepping into your focused or lock-in time with clarity on what you need to achieve. Now that you have clarity, break ambiguous tasks into short, actionable tasks. So I like to I have my notebook here. When I start out, I write out what I want to do. So I have one task. If I have one major task, I write it down into sub-tasks or mini tasks, such that as I proceed, as I complete one task, I can cross it off, and that gives me a rewarding feeling of accomplishment, right? So instead of leaving everything cluttered up in my mind, break it down into simple, actionable steps and write it here. I also have an estimate on how long it will take me to complete each task, so I know how to set my timer, because that is the next step. When you pick up the first task, set a timer. So depending on what your attention span looks like, you can start with like 5 minutes, 10 minutes timer. And what I do is I set my timer in such a way that I'm not picking up my phone. If your phone is your distraction, sometimes I put my phone face down if I would need it at some point, just so that I'm not easily distracted by that phone, right? But I have my phone beside me, and if I know that I would get distracted by my phone, I have a smartwatch that I used to set timers. I started out setting timers for like 5-10 minutes, and that sets my mind to not do anything. So I'm starting out with this task 1, and I'm focusing my mind on this one thing that I have to do within this 10 minutes because it's easier. So when my mind is about to wander or do certain things, I bring back my mind to, okay, just hold on till you hear the timer rings. And many times when that timer rings, I repeat it. I repeat it 3 to 4 times until I feel the need to rest. So repeating my timer also gives me a sense of, would I say, reward or accomplishment, that I'm making progress because I'm focused. And so far, why I'm repeating my timer is because I've not gotten distracted. Okay, so when the nudge to pick up my phone or do something else or get distracted comes in, I tell myself, just wait till that timer rings, just wait till that timer rings. Now, if your distraction is mind wandering, if you set out to do one thing and as soon as you start, your mind starts hopping into different things that you should have done, that you've not yet done, that you should give yourself to, let's get back to my notebook. So I have this notebook here for that. I have different sections in this notebook, as you can see, for different purposes. This notebook is always on my desk when I want to work. In one of the sections, I call it brain dump. So when I start out to do something and I remember other things, my mind starts processing other things that I've not done, I write it on that brain dump. I just write it down and then I go back to it later. Writing it down helps me to not forget, and also helps me to let down that mental load into a physical space, such that when I'm done with this focus time, I can go back to what I've written down and what needs my attention. Because if you immediately give yourself to that one thing that pops up into your head, your mind will still keep popping up things into your head, and that's how you get distracted. Distraction is basically derailing from a path that you've already set to embark on. So if you set to do one thing, any other thing aside that in the moment is a distraction, even if it's something good or productive. Rest where necessary. You don't want to go too hard on yourself where you now struggle to keep up or focus when it's time to focus. So repeat these steps over and over again. Review what happened. When you start out the first time, you might still find yourself a bit distracted. Highlight what your distractions are. Take these tips, apply them again into your next focus time, and keep refining until you've gotten a system and a strategy that helps you stay in the flow. Remember, these are practical tips and actionable steps, and your life will not see the transformation you deserve until you take action on the things you've shared. So I'll just run through the tips I shared again. Write out your distractions and create an elimination strategy for them. Set up your space or environment for focused work. Clarify your intention, simplicity over ambiguity. Set a timer for each task. Have a notebook beside you for brain dump to restrict mind wandering, and rest when necessary. Repeat these systems and refine them over time. Now, if you feel like you have so many things to do and so little time to accomplish them, you need to see the Time Management 101 series. Hurry and click this video for practical tips and actionable steps that will help you maximize the time you have and create a time management strategy personalized for you. Once again, my name is Wuraola Olaliko, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.